Renegade Immortal, Chapter 637, Saving Zhou Yi. Hello, welcome back to my channel, Books with AR. Zhou Yi and Wang Lin don't have a deep relationship, but the brief moment of interaction at the celestial realm was engraved deeply inside Wang Lin's soul. A man so infatuated with a woman that he would rather burn his own origin soul than let her go. His infatuation didn't move anyone. However, the clarity his eyes showed when he burned his origin soul would move anyone who saw it. He gifted something as precious as the Ascendant Crystal, only for Wang Lin to guard the female corpse. It was such a simple task, but it was all that mattered to him before his death. Then, Zhou Yi became the sword spirit for the Rain Celestial Sword, but the residual soul formed from his infatuation vanished and will no longer existed. At that moment, Zhou Yi heard a sound as if the entire world had shattered before him. His heart died, and his sword energy had no vitality. Using his body as a spirit, he chased Ling Tianhou through the void and vowed to kill Ling Tianhou. Him of that moment was looking for death because his only attachment to life was gone. Wang Lin witnessed the cruelty of the cultivation world throughout his life. Almost everyone had some hidden agenda in their hearts. Only a few people were worthy of him remembering them in his heart. Situ Nan, Dun Tian, Qi Hu, Zhou Yi. Back then, he was only at the soul formation stage. Before Zhou Yi, he was just a humble junior. But today, Wang Lin was at the ascendant stage. He let out a deep breath and stepped into the gap. Even though he knew some things were dangerous, as a man with a conscience, there were things he had to do. Back then, when he saved 13, he battled the demon general on his own. Today, to save Zhou Yi, he wouldn't stop if he was being guarded by Sword Saint Ling Tianhou's divine sense. At the moment he stepped into the gap, the divine sense left by Sword Saint Ling Tianhou charged at him with its tyrannical nature. The divine sense attack seemed to solidify as it closed in on him. This tyrannical divine sense was like a sharp sword that could pierce the heavens and stabbed directly toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's outermost defense, the soul flag, also released a roar as 100 million soul fragments gathered to form a shield to block the sword. However, Ling Tianhou's divine sense was too powerful. The shield formed by 100 million soul fragments was penetrated by the sword and continued making its way toward Wang Lin. At this moment, Wang Lin revealed a hint of determination. He clearly knew that he shouldn't move forward at this moment, but if he were to retreat, he would never have another chance to save Zhou Yi. In a person's life, there will be things they must do. If they don't, then even if they live for tens of thousands of years, they would look back and see nothing but chaos. Wang Lin's determination turned into decisiveness, and he took another step. At this moment, the sword intent formed from Ling Tianhou closed in. Without a word, Wang Lin waved his right hand, and the golden symbols instantly condensed around him. The sword intent landed on Wang Lin. White lightning moved between the bodies of the insects on the golden symbol surrounding Wang Lin's body. He took another step forward without any hesitation. More than half of the insects around him became stiff and fell off the golden symbol. Wang Lin waved his sleeves and collected them inside his bag. This triggered a divine sense several times more intense than the last. A series of thunderous roars echoed through the gap in the cliff. The countless echoes fused together and sounded like the wrath of the heavens that wanted all intruders to die. The soul fragments from the soul flag couldn't block it at all. It was broken once more, and the attack landed directly on the devil armor. At this moment, the devil energy in the devil armor collapsed, and Wang Lin felt an unimaginable force hitting his body. He had a feeling that if he didn't retreat, he would immediately collapse and die. However, a feeling was only a feeling. With Wang Lin's self-control, he was able to suppress this feeling. His eyes became even more determined, and the scattered devil he had been branding for 100 years was released by him for the first time. Wang Lin hadn't completely solidified the imprint on the scattered devil, so he hadn't refined it into his second origin soul. After releasing, a black devil soul with a single horn charged out of Wang Lin's forehead. It came out laughing, and its laughter was filled with devil energy. Its eyes were filled with confusion as it attempted to devour Ling Tianhou's sword energy. At the moment the devil soul appeared, a divine energy never seen by Wang Lin poured endlessly out of the devil armor. The energy went into the devil, making its body slowly turn corporeal. It devoured Ling Tianhao's divine sense, and then a violent aura exploded inside its body. The tyrannical domain started rampaging inside it. The devil let out a roar, and there was a hint of clarity in its struggling expression. Just at this moment, Wang Lin's origin soul trembled as he noticed the devil soul's instability. Without any hesitation, he sent a sliver of divine sense into the devil soul to activate the imprint. Although the imprint wasn't stable, it had been imprinted for the past 100 years. Now that it was activated, the devil soul was immediately sucked back into Wang Lin's body. The sound was muffled as if someone was chanting a spell. Even the devil armor around Wang Lin's body seemed to be affected as it turned to black gas and no longer stayed solid. Wang Lin quickly put it back into his bag of holding. He then immediately took another step, and this time he moved forward 100 feet. However, the third divine sense that was even more intense than the last surged from the depths of the gap. It rumbled like thunder and even seemed to contain Ling Tianhao's voice. The sound was muffled as if someone was chanting a spell. The soul flag wasn't powerful enough to resist it, and the devil armor was now gone. The only thing left was the 100,000 life seals. At the moment the impact from the third divine sense arrived, the 100,000 life seals rapidly swelled to 1 million. Borrowing the sudden expansion, it was able to block Ling Tianhao's divine sense. But in just a moment, the 1 million life seals quickly collapsed. The veins on Wang Lin's face bulged as he let out a roar and slapped his bag of holding. The god-slaying war chariot flew out and turned into the thunder beast. The beast let out a roar, arrived before Wang Lin, and collided with the divine sense. The thunder surrounding the thunder beast began to sizzle. The thunder beast's body released large amounts of thunder and continued to be pushed back by Ling Tianhao's divine sense. Borrowing this moment of rest, Wang Lin's life seals quickly recovered back to 1 million. His eyes became cold. Sometimes, passive defense wasn't the best method. If he wanted to charge in, he would need to attack. Wang Lin took a step forward, and the finger of death activated in his hand. The celestial energy inside his body surged as he shot multiple fingers of death at Ling Tianhao's divine sense that was currently being blocked by the thunder beast. The black lights created by the fingers of death shot out like arrows, leaving behind ripples as they landed on Ling Tianhao's divine sense. Wang Lin took another step and pointed forward again. The demonic finger appeared, and the celestial energy inside his body surged due to the 4 drops of celestial liquid from back then. Even though he hadn't used any celestial jades, his celestial energy seemed endless, just like the slaughter energy. At this moment, the celestial spiritual energy in his body turned into devilish energy, and because of the scattered devil, the devilish energy was extremely pure. This energy shot out from Wang Lin's finger. There wasn't 1 shot, but 10. Shortly after, Wang Lin raised his right hand and the underworld river appeared. He took several more steps as all his spells appeared and bombarded Ling Tianhou's divine sense. Wang Lin still felt like the power wasn't enough, and his eyes became cold. The 1 million life seals all turned into slaughter energy. The only one that didn't was the one hidden inside his origin soul. They fused into 1 strand of slaughter energy and charged out. As for Ling Tianhou's sword energy, Wang Lin wasn't dumb enough to use it against Ling Tianhou's divine sense. He was afraid it would switch to the other side the moment it appeared. At this moment, the entire tide abyss seemed to be trembling. The dirt and earth of the wall of the cliff seemed to be caught by a mysterious force as they began to float off the cliff wall. All of the spells suddenly collided with Ling Tianhou's divine sense. At the same time, the thunder beast let out an earth-shattering roar as it turned into a ray of thunder. It charged directly at Ling Tianhou's divine sense, along with Wang Lin's spells. There was a series of muffled sounds coming out of the entrance of the tide abyss in the water demon country. The ground constantly shook as if powerful sound waves were passing through it. At this moment, even Murong Zhua, who was deeper down in the tide abyss, felt the terrifying fluctuations above him. As for the two women beside him, they also quickly looked up, their eyes filled with terror. Simply terrifying. Could this be caused by Wang Lin? Xu Fei took a deep breath, and that hint of anger when Wang Lin destroyed her divine sense disappeared. She made up her mind. She wouldn't dare to provoke someone like this. The powerful ripple continued to spread through the walls of the tide abyss until it reached the bottom. The bottom of the tide abyss was filled with corridors. The moment the sounds entered this area, they immediately reverberated endlessly. The corridors at the bottom of the tide abyss formed a square with a black hole in the center that led to the unknown. There was a large sword stabbed halfway into the wall of the corridor. The moment the sound ripple arrived at the sword, it loosened a bit. The sound wave spread far as it echoed through the corridor. At this moment, at the entrance at the fire demon country where Greed and the Daolo sword sect disciples had been trapped, Greed suddenly opened his eyes, and his eyes were bright. Ling Tianhou's aura? Could he have arrived early? No, although this aura belongs to Ling Tianhou, it is only part of it. In addition to his, there is another aura. This other aura is unfamiliar, but to appear at a time like this, could it be because of the token? Greed seemed casual as he swept the Daolo sword sect disciples before closing his eyes. When the ripples arrived here, they were already really faint. Aside from Greed, no one else noticed. In the Daolo sword sect, Ling Tianhou, who was wearing a Taoist robe and cultivating, suddenly opened his eyes.